I am your host, Timothy Tack, and we are talking screenwriting tips, and more specifically, the book, Sun Tzu, The Art of Writing, and I am here with my guest, Tyler Smith. All right, we are here. Now, what I'm holding in my hands right here is it's a manuscript. It's not published yet, it's not available. It's a manuscript, but we're still going to talk about it. So it's a work in progress, but it's not just a work in progress. It's more than a work in progress. It's the manuscript. So tell us your plans for this in the future.
To put it on, make it an ebook, basically, put it on the internet. I contacted some publishing companies, they wanted money, to promote it, and they weren't offering any money. So I figured, the hell with it. Even Stephen King had enough with publishers, and he just went, online and just sell it directly. So that was, if it's good enough for Stephen King, hey, it's good enough for me, I guess.
That's right. So basically, this is the manuscript, and in the future, it will be an ebook. No date, no release date, but just be looking out for it. Keep that in mind. It's called Sun Tzu, The Art of Writing.
What other screenwriters won't tell you, but I will, is the second part of the title, yeah.
Well, that would be like in parentheses, maybe.
Yeah, parentheses.
Like I said, it's a work in progress. There's not even a cover. It's just red. Rob, can you get a close up in on that over there? Can you?
No cover. No, don't do that. Get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
He was about to get out of the director's booth and actually get a close up of this. I could get out of my seat, but then this mic right here would tie me, put me back. No, but yeah, that's the second question. You're from Iowa. I'm from Iowa.
I love Iowa, by the way. I love trees. I love streams. I love rivers. I love cornfields.
I'm loving this hot weather.
Yeah.
I just don't like it when it gets below 32 degrees and it's
I like
factor.
moderate weather. I don't like it too hot. I don't like it too cold. But we deal with it, right?
When you're in Iowa, we can always be sure that tomorrow the weather will change. The weather will change tomorrow, or at least the next week. Anyway, so a lot of people say, you live in Iowa. Can you be successful as a screenwriter? Can you make it as a screenwriter writing these manuscripts for major motion pictures and plays, whatever? Can you do it in Iowa? Can you?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And I think you're better off not to be in New York or Los Angeles and be a writer, and let me explain why. Because if you're in that bubble, you see what I'm saying? You get into the same mindset of the people who live there. And it's a very regionalized mindset. And it's interesting, to make the point, a movie came out called Easy Rider. And the people in Hollywood who saw the movie thought it was terrible. They didn't like the movie at all. The film was made for $1 million, unknown actors at the time, and the movie made a ton of money. And then the studio said, "Hey, wait a minute." These people from like Los Angeles and New York said, "Wait a minute. We thought this movie was terrible, and the country loved it. So obviously we are out of touch with what's going on inside the country." I think living in Iowa, living in the Midwest, you're better in touch with issues, everyday issues that people deal with in their lives than someone who lives, say, in Beverly Hills. And, it's interesting to me because, I would watch these movies that come out of Hollywood and they made no sense to me at all when I was watching these films. Movies like Speed, for example, with Keanu Reeves. It just seemed like such a lame-brained movie. I couldn't understand why anyone would want to make a film like this. But I was out in California for a couple of days. The weather's so nice, it's so beautiful. And you get into kind of a mindset, so to speak, from being there even a short period of time. I like what one guy said about California that always stuck with me. He said, "I've stepped in puddles that were less shallow than these people." And he says, as soon as I moved out to California, I could feel my IQ had dropped by 40 points.
For all you folks out there that are from California that moved here,
we apologize for what Tyler said.
You're here now, okay? You're here. So, yeah, many pages here. I'm flipping around here. We're just going to go right to page 37, the hack storyteller's checklist. Now, I'm going to go through, there's 12 of them right here. We're just going to go through them, and then we'll just have you just comment on each one on this checklist. Okay, the first one. You have a hero that is a nice guy. He will be good-looking, charming, and moral. And heroes never die. Only the bad guys die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the problems with, most people when they first write, and some people their whole lives when they write, they follow, these sort of preconceived notions of telling a story and what sells and what works. But the thing is formulas like this, they're just beaten to death and people are just bored with them. That's why you go to the video store and each movie looks like the one next to it. But these are the things that most people do thinking it'll work, but in reality what they're doing is bad writing. They're doing bad storytelling. But it's a formula that most of Hollywood and most first-time storytellers engage in.
Okay. Number 2, the villain will be all bad and look ugly.
Look at Star Wars, for example, Look at Emperor Palpatine. Look at Darth Vader. These guys are hideous looking. You take one look at them and you go, that's the villain in the movie. If you want to do great storytelling, you don't do it that way. You have some gray area between the good guys and the bad guys.
Okay. Number 3, lots of explosions, action, and violence sells.
Yeah, well, it sells up to a point and people are starting to become tired of it. It's interesting. You watch previews of these movies, and you see all these explosions in the previews, which tells me, okay, the movie's about explosions. It's not about story. It's not about character development. And, I try to stay away from cheap tricks like that when I'm doing my writing.
Okay, all right. Number 4 on the checklist. Creature feature. Have a dangerous animal in it, like the shark in Jaws.
Yeah, we see that in hack storytellers when they're putting their stories together. It's like you'll have the shark jump out for no apparent reason, even in the least likely of places, or you'll have some wolf charge at someone and try and attack them, just to kind of move the plot along, and it's a cheap trick.
Okay. Number 5 here on the hack storyteller's checklist. Be cute, have a cute pet, robot, or dog in the story.
Yeah, that's another cheap trick, and people are getting sick of it too. It's like one guy I was talking to where, he was saying he doesn't really like cutesy pie, and he's like, this movie was just cutesy pie. He hated Andy because it was just cutesy pie. And, for me, I like cute dogs, I like cute robots, but there's a point where it just becomes annoying as hell, where it's just beaten to death. And it's like, okay, when the audience is saying, okay, this is a cheap trick, you need to cut it.
Gotcha. All right. Number 6 on the hack storyteller's checklist. A duel to the death like Star Wars or The Matrix.